Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Levan Miller. We're here on 103.5 FM The Beat. We're also on channel 224 and on channel 112. That is on cable and flow. You can also feel free to join us on ILTV Studios on Facebook. There are a number of things happening. I know that you all continue to say that maybe you want a little more inclusion, if you will, inside the show. And so today I'm opening the lines a bit early, but I will tell you why. I need to know where are the minds of Bahamians, ordinary Bahamians, with regards to the again sale. Can we call it that? In regards to the again sale of the Lucayan Resort. I mean, at this point, do we just demolish the whole thing and try to sell the land? I've had interrupted sleep trying to think about what would be the best way to get this hotel in operation. And I'll tell you this, sometimes you find in real estate that the land is more valuable than the asset that sits on it. And that sometimes in order to reclaim the value of the land, you just have to demolish or destroy the asset. Because at some point the asset becomes junk, right? And whether this is junk yet or not, who knows? What I do know is that we spent $65 million at the onset, and we didn't get a fork for that, right? We've maintained the building annually. My advisors are telling me somewhere in the tune of about $1.5 million a year, and I don't think we got a fork for that. And we've had to keep staff employed, but for a couple of votes in a couple of constituencies on a sparsely populated island, I don't think they'll offer us a fork for that either. So the question becomes, right, at what point is the asset simply no longer worth the investment? And if we finally found someone to buy the hotel, I mean, do they have the wherewithal, or is this another one of those developers that are looking to gain confidence from lending institutions, so they sign a big name place like the Bahamas, and now their credibility in the international market goes up, and now they're able to go and get money like Harrius, I suspect, and go do real things with their development and things of that sort. And so, unless it is a casino operator, unless it is some major mega Marina Village developer, my mind still just isn't calm yet. And so maybe it's me, I don't know. Maybe it's Maybelline, who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna let us discuss that on the next side of the break. The spiritual advisor is here, by the way. Bradley Roll is joining me in studio. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more when we get back on the next side of the break right here on Freedom March. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us through the break. Again, I'm Levan Miller. We're here on 103.5 at The Beat FM. The spiritual advisor, Bradley Rule, joins me in studio this afternoon. Spiritual advisor, happy Wednesday.
Wednesday, they call this day hump day.
And I know that it's Wednesday, spiritual advisor. I'm not letting you lead me astray like the last time.
It is Wednesday.
Because on Wednesday, I go to the barber, and today was Barber Day, and that's how I know that it is Wednesday.
I kind of noticed something different.
Yeah, so major shout out to my guys down there at Island Connect on Fox Hill Road, right next door to St. Anne's. That's what it is.
What do they charge?
What do they charge? You mean for my haircut?
They cut your head or your hair?
Well, well, for my haircut, right, I get the exclusive package, right? So not everybody will pay my price, right? But just go down there. My guys at Island Connect, Ali and them will take good care of you. And while you're down there, you can get water, you can get your car clean. So what I usually do on Wednesday is so that it's a one-shot deal for me. I go while I get my haircut. I actually just pull right up under the veranda. I let them wash my car while I sit and I wait because my life is so busy, spiritual advisor. Like I don't have time to sit and wait on anything. So anything I ever have to wait on, I don't want it anymore. Right? So that's why my haircut costs what it costs.
Don't talk like that now.
Yeah, anything I have to wait on, I want.
Because today I was at a particular eatery, and they were wondering if you spend any time at the fish fry. Because they said some bathrooms are not working. Is that true?
Whoever told you that is a stranger to the truth. Both of the restrooms at the Arawaki are up and running. As of right now, this very minute.
All of them?
Yes, there are only two of them.
Right now?
Right this very minute. There are only two of them.
Okay.
And listen.
So that video that's circulating on social media, is that false?
Which video? You mean the one with
G-Money?
Man, first,
G-Money say, you see this one here?
First of all,
I come back and do it.
First of all, I particularly only answer people that is use their passport name. That's thing number one. So anytime you start telling me somebody without a real name levy an allegation against me, I don't particularly answer it because, that rabbit hole could take us to anywhere, right? Today I start answering A, B, C, D, E, F, or G money. Next thing you know, I could be talking to the Tooth Fairy. And then where do we stop? Who do I stop responding to, right? So that claim is scurrilous and is unsubstantiated. You could please feel free to go right now and check and report your findings. I always like when people report their findings, but they're up and running. And
Which is good.
I spend great time there. But again, I like to say, I don't like waiting on anything. Like, do you know that one of my greatest pet peeves in life, believe this or not, spiritual advisor, is for me to order food from a place.
I have to wait for it.
That takes phone orders.
Oh.
And then I get here and I have to wait on my food. Because I have this interesting, maybe it's a defect in personality, right? I never know what I want to eat, and I think it's as a direct consequence of having a Grammy until I was 32. So I never had to worry about wondering what I would eat because Grammy would just feed me whatever she cooked, right? Well, that kind of creates a cavity in my life in that now I never know what I want to eat. And so when I think about what I want to eat, by that time, I'm famished. And so when I get to your restaurant, I'm on the last leg. And so if I have to wait on this food, I'm about to yuck the window of this restaurant trying to get my food out of here.
So what happens if you have to go home to your wife? If you're on the way and you say, well, the show ends at 6 o'clock. Honey, I'm hungry. And you get home and food is not ready. What do you do?
And she must see the neighbor wife. Because if she was my wife, she wouldn't do that to me. If she was my wife, right? She must know not to do that to me. I will send her to go live right by the neighbor because I suspect she's the neighbor's wife. And I want the neighbor to not leave his wife over at my house because my wife wouldn't treat me like this. Yeah? Yeah, but because I hate waiting, when I go to my barber on Wednesday, except if it's a Wednesday like today, I pull it under the veranda. I can get my car clean while I get my hair cut. Okay. It's a wonderful, wonderful set of circumstances. So go check my guy out. I don't know what he can do for you, but let's see.
Yeah, what kind of haircut can I get?
Let's see.
I'm tired of shaving. Maybe I could put some lather on this.
They got products for that.
They get this little knife that they use to.
No man, they got some product. They can rub it right on there. It'll be wonderful. Really? I promise. Yeah, I promise.
Yeah. So what finishes first, the haircut or the car?
It depends. It depends on what it. Do you know that if you do these things weekly, none of them really take any serious amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you get there at 8:30, which is usually around my standing time, By 9 o'clock, I'm out of there and able to get to Arawaki to make sure that when people make scurrilous claims, they are a liar because they like lie. So that's kind of what I do with my time in my life. Just so y'all could get to know me a little better, I guess. I don't really know what the purpose of that whole thing was. But go see Ali at Island Connect and tell him I send you. Let's see what that does for you. What do you have for us today, spiritual advisor, or the Holy Scripture? Tell us.
We're going back.
Yes.
We're going back to the Red Bible.
Okay.
And I did this on a few occasions while my good friend and comrade Rodney Munker was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And listen here, folks. You may not want to believe this. Your denomination may have brainwashed you into thinking otherwise. But listen very carefully. The Red Bible shows that Jesus Christ is, in fact, God. Make no mistake about that. So today, in answering the young man who apparently has been misled by the Adventist movement, and I don't think it's the Adventist movement. It may be the Jehovah's Witness movement, because I'm sure the Adventists probably got this one correct. But anyhow, let's see. In John the 14th chapter, Jesus is speaking to Philip, one of the disciples. And Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. And no one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. Watch this. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. So Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. This is Jesus' response. Jesus said to him, have I been with you so long, and you still do not know me, Philip? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? Understand that. Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does his work. Flip back a second, producer. Let me just drive this point quickly home because it's very simple for those who can understand the Red Bible. If you had known me, verse number 7, you would have known my Father also. Watch this. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. Philip said to him, trying to go over this thing again, Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. And Jesus said to them, have I been with you so long, and you still do not know me, Philip? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? If this is not clear enough, then I don't know what is. And in that other passage, the Jews understanding Jesus and healing on the Sabbath, and only that, getting them to understand who the Father is, it says in John chapter 5, verse number 18, for this reason, they tried all the more to kill him. Not only was he breaking the Sabbath, but he was even calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God. John chapter 5. So if you don't accept that he is God, then maybe you can accept the fact that he is equal with God, which is basically the same thing. But not only was he calling God his own Father, but he was even calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God. It's in the Red Bible. You have to find it and go take a look at it. John chapter 5, verse number 18. I read from the NIV. The word of God is always blessed. Thank you so much, producer. Back to you.
And thank you very much, spiritual advisor. You said that Jesus is in God, and God is in Jesus.
Yeah.
So then?
It's like man. Man has a triune nature.
Because I was about to ask you, what about in Genesis, when man was made in the likeness of us?
Right.
Let us make man in the likeness.
Our image and likeness. Yeah. So you have
who was the
body?
Mm-hmm.
That was Jesus. Mm-hmm. Let me just show you something. Apparently, a caller a few weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, made a very interesting observation about in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Now, apparently, when you go back to the Hebrew, the original word there for heaven is plural.
Okay.
It's heavens. And that's why the other translations use the word in the plural, because in the Hebrew, the word is plural.
Okay.
In the same instance in Genesis 1:1, where it says, in the beginning, God created, the Hebrew word for God is always used in the plural sense. And this is why when you drop down to verse number 26, it says, and then God said, let us make man in our image and likeness. So you see the plurality.
The plural continuation. So then.
So who's this us?
So then,
Who's
why
us?
is man not God if man is man
No,
is
we're
in
not
God,
God.
and God is in man? Then how is man not God if Jesus responds similarly that I am in God and God is in me, and if he is the likeness of God, then is the likeness one and the same? Is that your position?
See, we cannot be God, because you cannot limit God to time, space, and matter. It's the trinities of trinities.
Okay.
Time, which is past, present, and future. Space, which is length times width times breadth. And then I think you got matter, which is solid, liquid, or gas. You can't limit God to those trinity of trinities. God is beyond that. So that's what makes him God. He operates out of time. He operates out of space. He operates out of matter. All right? So man is a lesser, always been lesser than the angels created in the heavens. And then man, of course, is the last, and then the animals.
Okay.
So man comprised of a body, a soul, and a spirit.
And a spirit, right.
So man has a triune nature,
Right.
just like God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Right.
What we see as leaven, this body, houses your soul.
Right.
Your body doesn't have the innermost.
My
thinking
spirit
and
is
emotion.
leaven.
Yes,
Right, because
that's
my
leaven.
body is just that, the
Yes.
body. That's why when the police report that the body was found lifeless, you couldn't find the body anything else except for lifeless, because the life is the spirit. So
And
it
once
was
it leaves the
John
body-
before it was the body, but once John leaves, it becomes the body.
Right.
I get that. What you see before you right now is the body. This breath coming out of me is my spirit.
Right. And then, of course, you have a soul. So the spirit of Levan, that innermost thought, emotions, like
My amazingness.
You run in the show,
Right.
you have your ideas, you have your thoughts, you have your opinions. All of this is what makes Levan.
Right.
You're different. And this is what people don't understand. So God has a triune nature, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. This is why we are created in this image and like this. And man has a triune nature, body, soul, and spirit. Remember Jesus says in Matthew 10:20, he says, do not fear those who can kill the body,
Right.
but cannot kill the soul. What does he mean by that? He says man can kill your body, but they can't kill your soul. What is the soul?
The soul is the part that should go and receive its judgment.
Animals, yes.
Right.
And it talks about as the body without the spirit is dead. The
Okay.
scripture specifically says that.
Right.
So if your soul leaves your body,
Right. If your spirit leaves your body, your body is dead.
It collapses, yeah.
Right.
It's
Because
no
your
long-
soul,
goes.
is not contained by anything.
Yeah. And so this is why we understand the plural sense of God in Genesis 1:1. The Hebrew word is Elohim.
So I think a better argument for your argument is if God made man in his likeness,
Image and likeness.
right, then the replication, as a justice of the peace, when you bring a document to me, it is my job to look at the photocopied document for all of the information, to look at the photocopied document for any seals that may have been attached, to look at the photocopied document to make sure that there isn't any manipulation of that document, and then to render my assessment that this document, that I do confirm that this document is a true likeness of the document presented before me, this date,
Right.
this time, at this plate, my signature. So if we are made in the image and the likeness, right, then the easy argument is that if man is made trifecta, then God must be trifecta, and that Jesus has to, as a result of that, be the flesh manifestation of
That's
what God
exactly what it is. Because the Bible talks about there's three earth, there's 3 on earth that bear witness, and there's 3 in heaven.
Right, because as good looking as this is only the flesh manifestation of
Of
leaven.
you, yeah.
Right. What leaven is what comes out of the hair.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
and
the
my
heart,
soul,
the mind, the
and my
soul.
soul
Yeah.
is the thing that is connected to the greater power. That is where innovation and intuition comes from, right? That is God's connectivity to man. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So, because where do ideas come from?
This is
You
very
gotta be
interesting.
God.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And if innovation and intuition comes from a higher source, then you have to say that would be my soul realm. My spirit would manifest from my body, which is my breath, and my body is the hull, which makes me triune,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, makes no
And
mistake.
if I'm made in God's image and likeness, then God must have a
Triune
body,
nature.
precisely, and Jesus
Yeah.
is the flesh manifestation of God.
that's what it
I
is.
like that argument a whole lot better. Anyway, we'll let y'all
Think about that. It's a very.
we'll let
it's a
y'all
big study.
scholars scholify that a little bit and see what y'all come up
Yeah,
with.
and for those who may not accept the triune nature of God, you just have to have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Red Bible, search all the scriptures, just connect them because they're all throughout the Old and New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to connect them properly, and then you'll get a full understanding of this. I can tell you that the word Trinity is not in the Bible. I must agree with a lot of the teachers out there. Yes, the word Trinity is not in the Bible. You don't see it there. But the concept is there. Father
Is the word triune in there?
and Holy Spirit.
I would have to check. I've never checked.
No,
before.
I don't know if the word triune, but I know for sure the word Trinity is not there.
Okay.
And that's a good question. I'll go to the Red Bible and see if the word triune is there. But I know for sure the word Trinity is not there. You won't find Trinity in the Bible.
Okay.
But the concept, understanding the triune nature of God, is there.
All right.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
there you have
We're
it. That's Holy Scripture for you today, right here on Freedom March. Man, listen, you might still join us here every day. You know, this better than going to your Wednesday night spot.
And guess what?
We got dialogue,
You get
yeah.
it for free.
Yeah, they don't get it for free where they just go.
You just gotta pay.
Oh boy, this is something else.
You just gotta close the doors.
Anyway, so here's what's been happening in and around town. A couple of weeks ago, there was a poll that was done, put up the poll for them, about whether or not if an election were called, who could, would, should win the election.
Election, yeah.
Right? And in that poll, one that is not agitated by the members of this show, the results were 41% for the PLP, 26% for the FNM, and 18% for the COI. This actually looks like what it looked like when I ran as an independent. I want to talk about that as well. The lines will be open when I get back. We'll see how that plays out, and then we'll let you see some of the buffoonery that took place in the parliament today on the next side of the break. So don't go anywhere. We're on Freedom March. My spiritual advisor is already on the break. Once we get back from the break, we'll discuss that. The lines will be open. We'll be right back.
Top quality dog food, shop online at. This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands: Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, and Oakshire. All at the lowest prices in town. If you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for a limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality. Your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store, or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last. Thank you, producer.
Thank you very much, spiritual advisor. And so, like we were saying before we went to the break, the people on the internet have decided, before I get to that, modernistic people are stopping me in the road and saying that they're not getting their $10 coupon. Is that supposed to be spiritual advice?
Yeah. If you purchase any 50
yeah, they're
pound
flagging me down in the road. I don't know if anyone from Modernistic is listening, but if you are listening, please, the people love their dogs very much. They come very often and they like to buy dog food very much. And they want you to please help them retrieve these $10 coupons or discounts, as the ad says. But the people are flagging me down in the road to say that. So I have to say it to you because they've said it to me and I promised them that I would say it. Let's get back. So what has been happening is, it's election time, whether you believe that or not. By almost any measuring stick you use, election is in the air. The people whose fancies we don't tickle on the internet have said that if an election were called, this would be the results. That 41% of them would vote for the Progressive Liberal Party, 26% of them for the Free National Movement, and 18% of them for the COI. Now, I noticed that there's no other or independent there, so I guess we'll leave the margin of error somewhere for those of the statisticians to figure out, right? So here are some things that are noticeable to me right away. 41% is still not enough to win. You would need at least 48% of the vote to win if you were going to win a general election. But neither is 28% of the vote. That is even more not enough to win. And so now I'm beginning to wonder, right? So among the issues, and the phone lines, they're open. Among the issues are things like the sale of the hotel in Grand Bahama. Among the issues are things like whether or not the developer that gets the hotel in Grand Bahama has the wherewithal to get the hotel, get it up and running, and put Grand Bahama in the economic state that people like Ginger Moxie and those have actually suggested this developer will. I don't know if I'm being pessimistic, but I feel like we've had this rodeo run so many times before that I'm not exactly sure I want to get all hot and bothered about it until I actually see, casinos open and people on the ground. While that is among some of the issues that will matter in the next election, though, I imagine things like how we approach the next election will also matter. And today, after the parliament was over, and it appears as though many people are eating pork chop late at night, there were some statements made by the Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, who, not because of his statement, I suspect he's been eating a lot of pork chop, well, this time anyway, but who had some statements that were, if I were him, would be bothersome in my mind if I were the actual sitting member for St. Anne's. Because what we do know is that the Free National Movement has a chairman who, despite the fact that I like him very much, has proven politically to be a non-winner, regrettably. I think it is in the party's best interest, if they're going to have their chairman contest in the next election, to put him in a seat that he cannot lose. Well, arguably, the only seat that I'm almost certain the Free National Movement will win, no matter where they drew the line, is that of St. Anne's. I don't think that a Progressive Liberal, or that a Boundaries Commission led by the Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Leader, I understand, would take it out of there. Just how I don't believe that any Free National Movement Boundaries Committee would take Engliston out of the boundaries, even if they gerrymandered the line. What I do believe, though, is that the Boundaries Commission would go out of its way to, in a salamander-like way, cut the lines of the boundaries in such a way to cut out other Free National Movement strongholds and sacrifice St. Anne's because they don't want to risk losing good candidates in an area that predominantly will not vote for the FNM. So if I were the leader of the party, I would either run myself or my chairman there because, let's face it, deputy of a party is not a real position. Why? Because it is largely anticipated that the deputy leader of a party will subsequently translate into him being the deputy prime minister, and we know that that's not a real position. Anyway, so the day after the House of Assembly met, Adrian White had this to say about his future in politics. Here is what I say. I think that if I were the chairman of the Free National Movement, I would not continue to leave the speculation in the air. I don't know whether I've been eating too much pork chop, but what the wind has told me, spiritual, is that there may be a move afoot to take the only other FNM stronghold away from them, which is the seat in Long Island. And that if you consider the margin that they were able to win that seat by, going back to the cut of 92, which would add Long Island to Ragged Island, or worse, adding Long Island to Exuma, would remove the assurance that that seat could be a Free National Movement seat. And why would the chairman risk waiting on that seat, albeit we know that the incumbent more than likely will not run in that seat in the next general election.
Yeah.
But it would be foolhardy of the chairman to sit in the position that he sits with the influence he has and then takes the nomination for a seat like that could possibly change in its landscape. His best bet then, spiritual advisor, would be to tell Adrian White, who in my view is nothing more than a political space holder, to move down a shuffle, go in Elizabeth, and hand the St. Anne's seat over to the chairman,
Dwayne Sands,
who, believe it or not, might actually require this favor. So here's what Adrian White had to say today in the Parliament.
As far as I'm aware, it's all political mischief. I'm going to run as the FNM candidate in St. Anne's. We are still waiting for the candidate selection process to be completed, but I'm a hardcore FNM, always FNM, and in St. Anne's, in every other constituency, 39 right now, we're going to bring home victories for the greatest party in the country that continues to do right by the Bahamian people. That's the Free National Movement.
And I hear him, but he doesn't make a good liar. I think he knows that his time is at hand. I'm not saying that he lied. I'm just saying that I think he has heard the whispers in the wind. I'm no longer an FNM. I'm an FNA, and I have heard that move is possibly being considered. I don't know. Maybe the chairman wants to call and suggest that it's not. Here is what I say, though, spiritual advisor. Why leave it to speculate? Just since you know that St. Anne's is a sure seat, since you have St. Anne's counted in your safe column, then just nominate the candidate. Just nominate the candidate. Since you're not certain what they will do with Long Island, right? So you don't want to nominate your candidate there, that's fine. How about to end some of the news wave that the Progressive Liberal Party will have tomorrow with the signing of the HOA, you nominate at least one candidate. And why not let it be in the one seat that you all won when you didn't win another single seat in the whole of New Providence? Why not nominate the candidate for St. Anne's and put the speculation to rest? You can't convince me the candidates committee is still meeting on this, will you? You can't convince me that the candidates committee has not yet decided who will bear the standard in St. Anne's. Certainly that makes no sense. And if they haven't been able to adequately adjudicate that matter, then reasonably, which matter can they adjudicate?
There's a lot of things circulating on social media. I mean,
I didn't hear that from social media. Where did I tell you I hear it?
well, Eyewitness News, did you?
I didn't tell you I hear
heard
that
it from the house.
Eyewitness News.
It
No.
didn't seem as if he was in the house, though.
He was in the house. That was in the house.
You sure?
That was on Eyewitness News, but that's not where I heard that.
Okay.
The wind told me.
Okay.
And just how I knew that Floyd Moxie would be Commodore because of the wind, the wind is now telling me,
You trust the Ben?
yes, on every occasion.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering, how many of these moving parts affect those numbers? Put the numbers back up for them. How many of these moving parts? How many of things like the hotel being sold to the right developer with the right je ne sais quoi, if you will, how much does that affect an election? How much does it either benefit or hurt the Free National Movement to be, according to their leader, 3.5 months out from an election without a single ratified candidate? At this point, I'll tell you what I'd be prepared to accept from the Free National Movement. Just ratify the candidates. Just give me the names. I want to know where you want to put them. Because you could say, well, we ratifying people that we think are suitable. But since the Boundaries Commission won't play Tweedledee, we can play Tweedledee with them. And we are not going to name where we running our candidates. We just letting you know what our lineup look like so you could begin to consider what government with us will look like. That's unreasonable?
Okay.
But they can't even give us that. In a sure seat like St. Anne's. Never have I ever, in my life's history, saw St. Anne's be up in the raffle bag for who will run in the constituency for the Free National. I've never witnessed that. That is all I want to say. And that is whether it was Brent Simonet or Mr. Chipman. And when it was Adrian White, I didn't have to guess either. So how are they in a position now that we are now playing the political raffle over F&M stronghold like St. Anne's? And does that hurt them or help them going into the election? Does that hurt them or help them more than the inadequate performance of a developer in Grand Bahama will? Because for all intents and purposes, Grand Bahama is F&M country.
Yeah.
So, really and truly, you could be sowing your pearl among swines in Grand Bahama. And I'm not saying that the people of Grand Bahama are swines. I'm saying that no matter what you put there, the investment may not be enough. Because the Free National Movement has on occasion won 5 out of the 6 seats there. I understand in the win that the intention is to go back to 6 seats there. But it appears no matter where you drop the line in Grand Bahama, right?
The F&M.
The people will vote for the FNM.
Yeah.
So you go and put this hotel down there, at best you hire what, 2,000 people? That won't
Possibly.
be enough, right?
It was 1,600 maybe. Yeah.
And so you get the spin-off of little pop-up boutiques, blah, 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 blah. In total, 20,000 people.
But it does help with the steady growth of Grand Bahama, though.
But will that be enough? The people vote for the FNM, even when they said the FNM did nothing. They still vote for them. So, is it a worse position to be in, not having a sole hotel as the Progressive Liberal Party, or picking the wrong developer? The lines are open, y'all could call me. Or is it a worse position to be in as the Free National Movement with a team that nobody's certain about and y'all so uncertain y'all even ain't know who y'all go run in St. Anne's? Give them the numbers.
So the numbers are 323-7775, 698. Sorry about that. Producer, 698-0775 and 698-0776. I don't know what.
You don't think any of these things affect?
I don't know if it does.
But,
I don't know. I don't think it does.
Numbers.
I don't think it does.
We have unsolicited numbers from unsolicited people, and the numbers show 41 and 28%. If we want, just add the COI to it, we add that 18%, and of course, like I said, there are no independents or others considered, right? Because who knows? Cheryl Ali McIntosh might come back with her party. You never know. Right? You never know. And don't forget, I think, if I'm mistaken, there might have been Cassius Stewart party at one time. So, you never know. What if Cassius decide, boy,
but
the
PLP,
come back with my own party?
Right. How many candidates have the PLP ratified so far?
The PLP doesn't need to ratify candidates. They have the government.
Okay. So they can run the same people.
But
I'm understanding there are some people who are not going to be running. Some
and
folks
those,
who ran
and those
the
people
last
that do
general
not
election did
intend
not
to
run.
run have already began to state that intention. It is
It's
it
at
is
least
typical.
it's at least 10 people we understand that has no intention
But
of
it
running
is typical
in
that
the next
almost
election.
all of the members of the cabinet will be run. So let's just on average say we have 26 people we sure about.
Who's running who is the PLP going to run in Golden Isles?
In Golden Isles, I understand that there may not be a Golden Isles.
Okay.
That's what the wind tell me.
Okay. Who are they going to run in St. Barnabas?
I understand that the way it is set up now, that may be a shared position. That may be, I think something about the 97 cut is being considered.
Who are they going to run in Kalani?
But I don't know, but I know Hubert Minnis could be running down there for sure. Because the question becomes, who's the F&M running in their next Shaw seat that they've had for 20 years?
Kalani. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
So which of these things materialize and matter more to the voter? When you go in the voter's box, do you think more about the fact, if the election was in the morning, do you think more about the fact that Grand Bahama is on the precipice of being sold, the Grand Ugayan, sorry, is on the precipice of being sold again, possibly to a developer that doesn't have the wherewithal? Does that affect your voting decision
And why
more?
now? Why now?
What do you mean, why
After
now?
all these promises, why now?
Well, I imagine they wanted to vet the people after their last developer fell through. You remember, this isn't this, what did it with the Electra people they sold it to the first time?
Okay, this is a different developer.
This is a different developer. Now, do I agree with a bed and breakfast hotel style? And no, I don't. I didn't tell you what I think Freeport needs.
We got a call.
Yeah? Let's take a call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon,
Hi.
Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you all?
Doing great.
Mr. Miller, everything
Where did you go?
is so negative about what the PLP doing, Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Pardon me?
Listen,
Start over. We
Hello,
missed
we
that.
miss you.
yes. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Spiritual Advisor. And good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Yes,
Hello.
go ahead.
I am saying this to Mr. Spiritual Advisor. Why every time when the PLP is doing good, you always talking negative about the PLP?
What did I say
as if
negative?
It's like it's not gonna work.
What did I say
I am
negative?
talking. Hold on. I am talking concerning the hotel in Nikaya.
Is this the first
before
time?
Grand Bahama.
Right, so is this the first time we hear it being sold? This is the first time?
Oh no.
Even
we all
Levon
do
mentioned.
know that. So
Listen,
you
hold
have no
on.
faith
Excuse me,
in
Mr.
our-
Medusa, put on hold. Yesterday, when Levon Miller started the show, he made the exact same criticism of the party. He says, listen, what's going on? Here we go again? Now, all I said just now about the Sailors Hotel is why now. That is all I said.
Right.
Now, how's that criticizing?
No, but you,
I'm just asking the question.
Listen. Spiritual advisor, I come on the show to argue with you.
Okay.
I want you to listen personally to what I'm going to say. I am saying this. I want all the Bahamian people to rally behind our Prime Minister, Mr. Philip Davis, and Mr. Chester Cooper. They are doing marvelous things for this country. Why all F&M cannot see it? Why Penstad cannot see it?
Wow.
The Lukai Hotel is going to open. Why you all doing? How our Prime Minister
how do you know?
always thinking negative?
How do you know? How do you know it's going to
So
open?
here's the question I would have,
It's
caller.
going. Listen.
Have you seen the heads of agreement?
When y'all listen.
Have you
when
seen the
your
heads of
government,
agreement?
When your government ain't did nothing for the
Have
Bahamians. We
you-
all borrowed all kind of money and we ain't seen nothing. All I am saying is that give the PLP the chance.
Have
Be
you-
brave, Davis and Chester
Okay.
Cooper chance.
Okay, have you seen the
It's
head-
going to be done.
Have you seen the heads of agreement?
You saw it? Like,
Apparently you
saw
say
it.
it's going to be open. You say it's going to open.
I
So you must have
asked
seen it.
listen to me. As time will come, it will open. As time. I
So-
see
so
the heads
you
of
sound
agreement.
like- you
As
sound
time
like a
will come,
PLC.
So-
it will open.
Caller, let me ask
Everything
you.
what the PLP has done for the past 4 years, or 3 years and a half, you're always trying to bash down the PLP
Yes.
in your party and do nothing for the
Yeah.
country.
So caller, let me ask you two questions.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you out of
This
Grand?
from South Beach. This South Beach from Barker's Road.
You in South Beach?
Yes.
And you say what but Bacchus?
Oh, Barker's in South Beach, baby. Be waiting for whoever they say.
Oh Jesus! You can't. I don't make me talk about South Beach.
Don't
So
make you talk, but I'm ready. I can answer your question.
No. I just want to know.
answer your question.
No. I just want to know when it comes to the Grand Bahama development, right? Like, do Bahamians have an idea what they hope to see from the developer? If you remember, just hear me out for a second. If you remember, Bahama was supposed to have been Harrius as one of the major developers in the Bahama deal. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And Bahama was supposed to have one bunch of casino because
sir.
one of their primary developers was a
Yes,
casino
sir.
operator.
Yes.
Well, that didn't really work out. They went towards the luxury boutique lifestyle type of developer, right?
Yes, sir.
For whatever it's worth, I mean, hey, the baby born, and at least the baby ain't born dead, right?
Yeah.
Will that work in Grand Bahama, though, or do we need something different? What do you think?
Mr. Miller, those people in Freeport, Grand Bahama,
Yeah.
they are waiting patiently for tomorrow
Yeah.
for the work to be started
Yeah.
in Freeport, Grand Bahama. During the F&M time, they want us with all the seats, and nothing was done in Freeport, Grand Bahama with Tintas as one of the leading person in Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Wow.
That's all am I saying.
Okay.
The work starting tomorrow, you say?
I don't know if it's going to start tomorrow, but give the PLP a chance. You already do nothing.
Man,
how much
Start tomorrow because
how much chance y'all
because
want with
the
this
people
one
that
hotel?
working in the Straw Vendors Association, they are waiting patiently.
All right. Well, let's see what happens tomorrow after they sign the HOA, and then we all will know the deal.
What
eh?
happens? But you give give the F&M 4 years and 3 years and a
Yeah.
half, and they do nothing but borrow a bunch of money.
boy.
All right.
And it shows what they do with the money.
All right,
Oh,
thank you
boy.
so much, caller. With
Appreciate you,
with your
caller.
PLP self.
323-7775.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Hey, yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Spiritual Advisor. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Yes,
buddy.
sir. How
Let me
are
tell
you?
you something. For 51 years, we were under the rule of the PLP and the FNF. And every time you see come close to election, they started to do all these projects and
Yeah,
things so they
yeah,
could remain relevant
yeah.
in the eyes of the Bahamian people. So they
Yeah.
can say, oh, look, they're doing something. They're doing this thing this way. They're doing that thing the next way. And then if they give them another chance, it's another 5 years, or let's say 4.5 years of suffering. We have a third party now. We need to give them a chance.
But do we?
Because I'm tired of all this ring around the rosy and these games they play, and people suffering in this town. Our medical institution in disarray.
Yeah.
Our law enforcement institution in disarray.
Yeah.
Our educational system in disarray.
Okay.
I hear people them saying and praising, oh, look at the new roads. I never met nobody once in the Bahamas who could say they ever eat asphalt and no RT.
But here's the question I have for you, caller. Did we not have a very viable, vibrant third party in the DNA? As a matter of fact, so vibrant, they secured 13,000 votes in their debut appearance at the polls?
But see, here's another thing. I hear they did. But listen to this.
That they wasn't
You know,
viable?
I watched the news several months back when people were crying about the light bill being increased in Grand Bahama. And they was asking for the government to intervene and deal with the Port Authority and try to get some kind of to rectify the situation. They didn't get no answer. But here it is now that the owners of the Port Authority, they was out of function over there in Freeport. And that question was brought up by someone interviewing them. You know what the fella said on TV? He said that they asked him, which political party do they support? He said in his own mouth, we don't support, we don't know our favorites, we support both, meaning the PLP and the FNM. So that told me that that's why you can't get nothing done in Freeport.
Are you from
Because
Freeport?
the PLP and the FNM and these people go against, so they can't go against these people that they need to do what's right for the BME people.
Are you from Freeport?
I lived in Freeport for a while.
Okay. Well, let me tell you my difficulty with the COI. First of all, I think the COI was a little duplicitous. You all tell me you all had a problem with parties. So how did you all become a party? That's the only question I have. If you tell me, like, I have a problem, no, I can't say that. The thing that I have a problem with, you don't have to worry about me becoming the thing that I said I had a problem with. I could say that without Urka getting to me, right? So how did you say you have a problem with parties, go into this election, the former election, as as a gathering of independents, but by the time as the next election is called, you are a party. That in itself just sounds a little duplicitous to me. And while I at it, let me shout out my friend Lincoln Bain, who spiritual advisor I also saw at the change of command where Commodore Floyd Moxie became the Commodore.
He was there, yeah.
And he hailed me, he said, I'm one of his favorite PLPs. Well, Lincoln, I tell you before, I am an FNA. Only me one in the party right now, just like how only you one was in the COI. It is actually the name of a party, because a party cannot be named the Coalition of Independents. That in itself is duplicitous.
Well, I could say everybody is bound to make mistakes, right? But I know for a fact I've been living on this planet for quite some time now. Underneath the PLP and the FNM, and I done see the report card, and the report card don't ever change.
Well,
we gotta go,
caller. Anyway, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. We got more show on the next side of break. Levan Miller is here. Bradley Roll is with me. We'll be right back after this break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. We're on 103.5 FM The Beat. We're on channel 224. We're also on channel 112. That's on cable and on Flow. And of course, we're on ILTV on Facebook. Of course, I'm not saying that for you if you can already hear my voice. If you can hear my voice, this is your new instruction. Get on your phone, call your friend, tell your friend you have no clue what they're listening to, but you want them to stop it. And you want them to put their channels on 103.5 FM The Beat, 224 on cable, 112 on Flow, or go on Facebook where they go to gossip and stop gossiping for the next hour and just watch us on ILTV Studios, yeah? Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, is with me. And since I call his name going into the break, right, I feel led by the Spirit. Put up my symbol so that people could see the symbol for my party. That is the symbol for the FNA spiritual advisor, a symbol of love, patriotism, and unity that embodies the patriotic event of May 10th,
Flamingos.
but that also embodies the national anthem, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And so that is the symbol we will use. And do we have my song?
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. Tell them take the FNM, we ain't one of them. And the PLP is a gangster party. The COI is a party made up by just one guy. So if you wanna go all the way, come go with the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. When they shout PLP, just say no way. You're going with us in the FNA. The FNM done lost their way, and we don't play, we vote in FNA. The COI have a plan, they say, but the best plan is to go with the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA.
And so, Lincoln, I'm not a PLP. I told you that already. I'm an FNA. And since the COI is grammatically incorrect, and you can't start off grammatically incorrect because Parliament is about drafting legislation, and if you can't get the grammar right in the name of the party, I assume you won't get the grammar right inside the legislation, right? So come adopt the FNA from me. You go recruit Hubert Minnis. Y'all could bring Hiram Lewis. We can fire Adrian Gibson. I could just say it now because they ain't gonna renominate him. So, but we can need him for the next 10 months. So offer him something. I don't know. Maybe leader of opposition business in the House. No, that's Minnis' job. We could offer him opposition whip. We could offer him opposition whip. See, that's a job for everybody in the opposition, you know, spiritual advisor. And by the time as we finish, right, the FNM could go see if they could figure themselves out, right? And you all would actually stand a fighting chance. I then got symbol. Show them my symbol. I got symbol. I got T-shirt. I got logo. I got this my logo. I got logo, T-shirt, and now I got jingle. We have everything we need to have a political party.
No, you need people.
Right?
You need people and
That's why I'm trying to recruit Lincoln Bain so he can stop calling me a PLP.
Lincoln is not on your run, man.
I just told you, Lincoln called me a PLP. I didn't call him a PLP. I hail Lincoln because I don't want people to say that I scared to hail people in public. I hail him in public. Yeah, and he tell me, say, I see favorite PLP, but Lincoln know that that's the furthest thing from the truth. Lincoln know that when he was a FNM, I was a FNM. And then when they try to get me to be a DNA, I say, that party, well, you know what I said about that party. And so I couldn't be one of them. And then Lincoln accused me of being a PLP.
Do we do this birthdays first?
Let's take the calls, then go to the birthdays.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Hey.
Good day. The lady would call. But Salve, she don't know nothing but Freeport. She only guessing. She don't know the people in Freeport hating. You see what I'm saying? That's all they know she's saying. I don't even know
from
she got family in Freeport.
You from
so
Freeport?
She come on talking with the PLP. Kings ain't right in Freeport.
You from Freeport?
No, I ain't from Freeport.
Well, how you know?
How I know?
Yeah.
I in Freeport.
How long? So you living in Freeport right now?
Yes.
Where in Freeport?
I live in 8 Mile Rock.
Okay.
I think that now they might walk like garbage place, man. The rolling all digger.
Oh boy. And
Things in Freeport, man.
you think the hotel? I mean, how do you imagine the hotel's development will help you in 8 Mile Rock? That's a good way to
They can't help me in 8 Mile Rock. They need to get a place like down in West End for 8 Mile Rock, like I did in High Rock.
Okay. How long you been living in 8 Mile Rock?
I was coming around from in the 70s, in and out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need to do something. I can tell you something. Heidi will come up for grandmama come back.
All right, Carl. Appreciate it. You hear what he said? Haiti will come back on stream before her grandmama come back on stream. Let's take another call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. They gone. But hey, so Michael Bengad. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, we saying Levon.
Hey, this sound like Papa. This Papa?
Yes, sir. Good day, Mr. S.A. We saying.
Yeah, what's up, Papa?
Everything cool. Listen,
Yeah, man.
I like your jingle.
Yeah.
And I think you need to play it every day. It might be too early to find out how long you could be here, right?
Oh boy.
While you're here, leading into elections, you should keep playing it. Now, for those who disagree, who disagree with you, call the songs calling my gang, my political party, my PLP party, a gangster party.
Yeah.
Then you just put political gangster party in front of it. But a lot of us out here agree with it, you see?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we like the song.
Okay.
We like the song. And although, see, one thing I like about you, how you beat both sides when they need to get beat, or they saying something stupid, or they doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I respect you for that, and people would respect you for that too. See, a lot of us can speak out against these parties. Them, in spite of, I might still go there and vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know in your heart that politically they deserve to be out of our business and out of government. Tell me something, man. What you all saying about Puff Daddy? You all think what that case was going on with Puff Daddy? Something like that happening over here, underground, a mafia, sex ring, human trafficking and stuff like that. Then you know, Levon, think about this for me before you go, before I go.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they dealing with Puff Daddy, and they talking about Hollywood and the superstars and stuff. They calling all of these names, LeBron James, a different person who've been to these freak-off parties, right? I believe something going on in the media for centuries now, I know. But it's them who got to talk the story, and they ain't talking. I believe the same things will be finding out with Puff Daddy them and that industry could be going on in the media, and not just in America, all over the world, especially here in the Bahamas. What you think? I hang up and listen, thanks.
All right. Well, firstly, I want to say I think I'm from the Church of God. They don't let me go to these kind of things, Papa. I don't even get invited to these kind of things, right? That's why I want to tell you this. I only an insider to people who outside, you know, to the insiders, I'm an outsider. So I ain't a slave, but I ain't one of the master children. I on the porch. That's the worst place to be. They should get to feed me and all out there. Because the slaves, them ain't want to touch me, and the master children don't play with me. I from the Church of God, Papa, they don't invite me to these kind of things. I haven't been following the case intimately. What I will say, though, is the one thing that has floated through social media that I thought was quite laughable was the testimony that people were being paid to pee in somebody's mouth, right, spiritual advisor? And my position is simple. You could pay a fella to pee, but you can't pay me to keep my mouth open. So how the fella pee in your mouth if you had your mouth closed? You should close your mouth. That'll end your claim. Anyway, hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Okay, let's
go to the birthday.
Okay, sorry about that. May the 14th, Paula Rumor. Paula Rumor is celebrating 80th birthday today in Cat Island. Greetings coming from your children, your grand, and of course your great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, in-laws, family, and friends. So, happy 80th.
Wow.
Paula Rumor. Stuart Gardner. They have Gardner Stuart, actually. Happy Earth Strong out to Gardner Calvin Stuart. Oh, so there's Gardner Calvin Stuart.
Yeah, it's Gardner Stuart.
Also known as Vitamin G, is coming in from your lovely mom, Lady Sharon Stuart, your brothers Timothy and Michael Stuart.
He's from the Gentleman's Club as well, by the way.
And it's coming from Mr. Marco and Simeon Strawn and the family. So happy birthday to Gardner Strawn. Let's see, we got a happy 7th anniversary to Eyewitness News. So Eyewitness News, also a headline ahead. Special shout out to Eyewitness News, who's celebrating 7 years. Okay, great. A special shout out to Joan Oliver during the Nurses Month. Please congratulate Sister Joan Oliver for over 45 years of service as a nurse. She's an excellent medical professional, and we wish her continued favor and success as she approaches retirement. It's coming from all of her family and her friends. We have two tributes. Well, we got a tribute, sorry, and then we have an announcement, a press release.
This is actually a this is actually a drawing done, I think, at the airport taxi stand, where some of the taxi drivers got down there to pay their respect to the fallen leader of the woman, Senator Rodney Munker. I didn't know he had this kind of talent. I could never draw anything that illustrious. I was asked to leave art when I was in high school, spiritual advisor. So to whoever drew this,
Yes.
this was actually pretty decent. I appreciated this, and I wanted to make sure that we display it here on Shout Out Hour. And we have one. What else do we have?
The Cabinet Office has a press release, and so the Cabinet Office announces today that an official memorial service will be held for the late Right Honorable John Henry Bostwick, CB, Casey, former parliamentarian, leader of the opposition, president of the Senate, and attorney at law. It will be held on Friday, the 16th of May, 2025 at 10 a.m. at Christ Church Cathedral, George Street. Cremation will be held after the lying in state. The body will lie in state in the Senate, Parliament Square on Thursday, the 15th of May, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Viewing for the general public will be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday, the 15th of May, 2025. The service will be broadcast live via the ZNS Radio Network and live stream via YouTube. And they have some other networks, should I say, social media streams that will be broadcast on, but YouTube will be one of the video streams, and also from Christ Church Cathedral beginning at 10 a.m. So general parking and shuttle service for invited guests will be available on the lower grounds of the Government House beginning at 8:30 a.m. So more likely you'll see this posted maybe in the newspaper, something like that. So that's it, the press release for the...
Is that all the shout-outs?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay,
it.
well, I have two. Can I add two?
Go ahead.
I want to send a shout-out, spiritual advisor, to all the saved women who, in their savedness, saw that there was copious amounts of rain,
Yesterday?
shuttered skies. Yesterday, where you live today.
Today, yeah, there was some, there was quite a bit of rain today, actually.
Shuttered skies, darkness gathering, and gloominess. And who listened to the still small voice that yet still whispers in their soul? Soap. 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 And so to all of the saved women, if you didn't cook soup today, I question your savedness. If soup wasn't on your agenda today, I question your savedness. But to all of the saved women, especially if you have little spare ribs in it, right? If you have a little spare rib in it, if you have salt beef
That's
in
the
it.
meat of the day.
No, salt beef. Because it ain't really soup till you put the salt beef in it.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Because salt beef is the only meat you could chew twice. Right? So for all of you, and for all the Exuma boys who also does cook soup, because I got one Exuma Connect spiritual advisor, I cannot let his name out.
Who's that?
So I shall call him by his code name. So to the big O, I know it raining outside there, and I know what rain mean. I'm gonna send you a coded message, and I want you to make sure that you ensure that I know whether or not the soup is lighting outside. And he's cooking on outside. So send me a smoke signal from where you live, so that when I come outside the studio, I could see the smoke signal and I could speed there for my soup. All right? And to the same woman, them, if you all cooking soup, you don't send me no smoke signal because they can say I ain't safe. But you make sure that if you cook soup today and you're a saved woman somewhere out there, you please let me know how to come and get soup out here in all this rainy gloominess. All right? So that's my shout out to those soup cooking people today. If all you cook today was what they cook, spiritual advisor, pastrami, If all you cook
Fettuccine.
today is linguine and fettuccine
Yeah.
and anything with an E on the end of it, you ain't safe. And I want you to go to church Sunday. As a matter of fact, I want you to go to the prevailing church of God, because that's where I cut my teeth. And see if Sister Boy and Sam could page all off in the Holy Ghost stand
Fettuccine
there.
tastes pretty good though.
Not today.
And they know how to make it. pretty
Not
good.
today.
Yeah. But if
Not today. You
if-
need little peas.
If not fettuccine, it's another thing.
Flour.
It begins with P. P-E-N-N-E with.
Hold on now.
Hamburger.
Hold
What do you call that?
on, spiritual. Yeah, you almost sideswiped me there. The thing with the pea tastes good on the day that it rain, and the name what?
P-E-N-N. What do you?
Oh, because
I like that.
You gotta spell these things fast for me, spiritual
hamburger?
advisor. Because I don't know. Anyway, so let's get back to the show. We got callers on the line?
I got 3 calls.
All right, let's take the calls. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
Mr. Miller,
Hey.
I just called to give my 5 cents on my understanding of Jesus and God.
Okay.
Jesus said in Matthew chapter 26, verse 36, when he told his disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And verse 39 in Matthew, he went a little further and fall on his face and prayed, saying,
To the Father.
Oh, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass away from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Then again in Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, Jesus said, take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father, which is in heaven. And again, in Matthew chapter 18, verse 19, Jesus said that if 2 of you shall agree on it, as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father, which is in heaven. So Jesus' Father is in heaven while he speak to his disciple.
Spiritual.
Okay, and what's your point?
My point is, Jesus and God is 2 different persons.
So who was Jesus?
Jesus is the one with Mary born.
Oh. Oh, so where did he come
God
from?
is the one who Jesus fall down on his face and prayed to.
So where
That's
did
God.
so where did Jesus come from?
Where Jesus come from? God gave instruction for him to come through Mary.
Oh, so prior to
Virgin
that,
Mary.
so prior to Mary, he didn't exist.
Only God exists. Before
So,
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
so listen to my question very carefully. Before the angel announced that to Mary that she was going to be with child, before that, Jesus never existed. That's what you're telling me?
Jesus came into the world when God made provision for Mary to have the child.
Producer, pull up John chapter 17, verse number 5. Let's put it on the screen. Caller, your problem is you don't have a red Bible. You need to get yourself one.
I can say this.
You need to get
Spiritual
yourself one.
advisor.
Just hang on a second.
You need to get a black Bible, Holy Bible, because that red Bible says something different from people thinking.
So don't forget now. Don't forget we got the whole country listening to you.
You need a black Bible, not a red one you're talking about.
Producer, pull up
misleading
pull up John chapter 17 and verse number 5, and let's see where Jesus was, because apparently this caller is saying Jesus existed once the Holy Spirit announced to Mary that she was going to be with child. Now let's see what the Bible says. Jesus, in praying, he says, and now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. Now, your problem is you don't have a red Bible.
But you need a black
just give me a
Bible,
second.
because
No, hold on now. Jesus is saying that he was with the Father before the world began, but you say it started with Mary. Now who's
He said that's not Jesus.
who's giving false doctrine here? Jesus always existed, my brother.
Who
Jesus is
created the
God.
heaven and the earth?
Jesus is God.
Who?
Jesus is God, my brother.
I said, who created the heaven and the earth?
Jesus did.
No, sir.
Who you think did it? All right, so
I'm
for the sake of time tomorrow, I'll show you exactly. I'll show you how Jesus is the creator, okay?
So here's how I like.
You see that? And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began.
So that's like, is this
man.
Jesus talking
Thank
to
you, Medusa.
himself? Is this Jesus talking to himself? Like sometimes I say, now Levan,
Thank you, Medusa.
let's try and make sure we get this right. Sometimes I say that to myself like that, because other than that, Jesus son, he talking to somebody. And I don't know. But
So he doesn't know that Jesus is the creator?
well, I
The
didn't
Bible
know.
says all things were created by him, and without him was nothing made that is
the
made.
one thing I just use to just blanket over all these things is the Apostle Paul, right? Paul say in Corinthians, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep.
All right.
But we shall all be changed in
a moment of midnight.
And I feel like
But
that
we're
cover
not discussing the resurrection,
I
though.
figure that, but I feel like that cover all the mysteries of the Bible. Paul tell you the thing mysterious. So you know, caller, you there?
Welcome to Freedom March, call you live.
Good afternoon, how gentlemen doing?
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Rule and Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir.
All right, with these parties and stuff, right? Everybody fighting to do this for the Bahamian people and everyone. When one party don't do this, they say they can do this. The next party say they can do this when they come out. They do this, they cut all the contracts off and everything they do. It's a crime that the two parties get together, that then one out, one in, and they communicate together and get things done for the Bahamian people, that they contribute together and get things done together for everybody. And at the end of the next election, people decide to vote for who they want to vote for and see who does this and who does that. Who spends the most or what have you. Is that the crime? Or everyone got to see cut one another throat every 5 years and cutting the contract when one get back and one get out?
well, caller, thank you for your call. Let me say this, right? And if Philip Durham is listening to me, Phil Durham, he's one of my favorite guys. He's a mentor of mine. You know, he ain't saved, but certainly a decent mentor. It was either Philip Durham that told me this, or me that told it to Philip Durham. The problem we have in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is Bahamian voters are mercurial. That means that we like to just keep adjusting the temperature on our politics. This 5 years we like the PLP. That 5 years we like the FNM. And so what I believe we are now suffering from, which is something I told Phil Durham, if he remembers correctly, about 15 or 20 years ago. Chief, if you listen and verify my story so these people don't think I lie, that eventually we were going to run this country in a stalemate. Here is why. Every political party talks about doing one thing while they're in opposition spiritual advisor. You know what that is? Taking us in a new direction. You agree? Now, you ever been out to sea?
No.
Imagine if every time someone new come to the wheel, they point the boat in a different direction.
There's a problem.
We can run out of gas, we can need search and rescue. Maybe we need to just leave one skipper to the helm long enough to at least get us to the dock. Then that's all I said. Maybe we should consider that for a 10-year window as a country. That's my position on it. It was my position for 20 years. We'll talk more about it on the next side of the break.
Make every moment unforgettable with Shop Smart. From colorful floaties and water guns to light vests that keep fun safe. We've got everything you need to dive into the season. Planning a beach picnic? We've got the cutest sets and coolest bubbles to bring the vibes. And don't forget our trendy swimwear for all ages. Summer starts here, only at Shop Smart. Your Miracle, number 122 Market Street.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Welcome back to Freedom March. We're here on 103.5 FM Beat. We're on channel 224, that's on cable. We're on 112, that's on Flow. We're also on ILTV Studios on Facebook. Please tell a friend. And so, like we were saying before I went to the break, I believe that we have to get to a point in the country where at some point we let one captain hold the ship of state for longer than a single watch. The waters are treacherous, things are getting serious. We aren't where we were 20 years ago when I told Phil Durham it then. But Phil Durham, if you recall, I predicted this 20 years ago, and I feel like we are now at the point that I predicted 20 years ago. And all my suggestion as spiritual advisor was that we couldn't continue to bounce back and forward between one or two or three ideologies, because what we would end up doing as a nation is stalling. Our economy would stall, our healthcare system would stall, our law enforcement agencies, well, they are eternal, they will never stall, but they certainly wouldn't be at optimum levels, and that we needed at least a decade of continuity in administration. Now, I think, based on what I see in the international community, that Philip Davis just looked better as the Prime Minister to me than the last guy that had an opportunity. That's what I want to say. So if I had to compare Philip Davis to the last guy that had an opportunity, I would say that they look better internationally. How did I make this assessment? The last guy gone and say that we's a corrupt nation and corruption killing all our budget. Philip Davis has led the charge on trying to figure out how to get us funding for carbon credits, etc., and has led the climate change argument for the entire Caribbean, second possibly only to me and Motley. So possibly, in my view, there may not be a need to change the skipper during this watch. But if you're gonna change the skipper, then I say, if all you got in your hand is a pair of trees and the night ready to end, don't worry about playing your hand. We're gonna just bet big and hope they fold. So don't vote for the FNM, don't vote for the COI, and if you ain't gonna vote for Philip Davis and the PLP, then here's my recommendation.
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. Tell them take the FNM, we ain't one of them. And the PLP is a gangster party. The COI is a party made up by just one guy. So if you wanna go all the way, come go with the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. When they shout PLP, just say no way. You're going with us in the FNA. The FNM done lost their way, and we don't play, we vote in FNA. The COI have a plan, they say, but the best plan is to go with the FNA. We are the FNA.
And so if you're not gonna let the skipper hold the ship, I say bet big. Bet big and go with something that actually could make some sense. We'll have the experience of an ex-prime minister, the tenacity of a what Lincoln mean is, of a political activist. We'll have the vision of me, right? And then we'll have the Iram of Iram Lewis, and we'll have the Kwesi of Kwesi Thompson. And and Brand and FNA. And we will be FNAs together and form no opposition. And at least people could begin to take a perspective look at whether or not that is better than what they have now for an opposition party. Let's go to the phone lines, 323-7775, 698-0775, or 698-0776. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Caller, you there?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, good day, Levan. Good day to the spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon.
Spiritual advisor, you said, why now? With the hotel in Grand Bahama. Why not now? I mean, after all, it was your government that sold it and couldn't even get a cutlery along with it. You couldn't even get a fork or a towel.
They get a fork for $65 million.
So what are we getting now?
So all you got, spiritual advisor, when y'all sold it, was a bunch of concrete, some glass, and some doors and stuff.
What are we getting now?
You know, you got nothing else with it.
They ain't sell it, they buy it.
What are we getting now?
They ain't sell it, they buy it.
But my thing is, spiritual advisor, that was the dumbest deal that anybody could have made on the behalf of the Bahamas.
So forget
I know donkeys in Inagua who got enough sense to go in the water and stick their nose out the water when the mosquitoes are biting them.
So what are we getting now? What are we getting now?
These fellas could not even made a deal good enough for the Bahamian people to benefit from.
Okay, so what are we getting now? Mr. Gamp, come on, man, cut this out. All right, let me stop you in the tracks. Cut this out right now. What are we getting now?
I'm telling you, on tomorrow you will know exactly what you're getting when the deal is signed.
Oh, so you don't know?
You think we can get a fork?
We're gonna get fork. We can get everything. We can get everything that is going to benefit the Bahamian people.
All right.
Okay?
Let's see.
Mr. Kemp. Mr. Kemp.
Yes.
Are they going to get a pool? Because we need to baptize some people.
Well, I'm baptized. Thank God. To God be the glory. I'm baptized. I'm happy. I'm grateful to God for being my Lord and Savior. But yeah, we do need to baptize some people. I do agree with you.
Okay.
I would not disagree with you with that. We do need to baptize some people because
once they repent.
Our Bahamian people have very short memory. You know, taking case in point, you got Marvin Dames. I heard Marvin Dames now on the talk show the other day, who disappeared after the election, gone for 4 years. Now on a year of election, he come back telling the Bahamian one bunch of hullabaloo and everything. And listen, tell Marvin Dames the money, what he spent on those drones, he's going to buy a couple of good fire trucks when he was chief. Okay? Don't come to the Bahamian people now thinking that the Bahamian people are so stupid that they're going to buy into his bunch of foolishness.
All right.
Okay?
So we'll watch the HOA tomorrow. We'll watch the HOA tomorrow and see what kind of fork they give us. All right?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. Take care, Bradley Camp. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Yeah. That man talking a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. God is above. We don't know who will win this election. So let them hush up. Bahamian people do like slackness. Once you get them food and whatever, they all the way. They don't know who God have in store for this election. So let's hope and pray. That's what we need to do. And let's stop talking nonsense.
Okay.
Let's talk.
What was
sense.
the nonsense? So which piece was the nonsense?
Now, see, Mr. Miller, you see, I ain't particularly talking to you.
Okay, all right. Well, good. Well, you guys are the spiritual advisor then. Go ahead.
Let me talk to spiritual advisor.
Yeah, you guys
because he get good sense.
Yeah.
So don't let's stand up on this TV every day, because I ain't gonna listen to this no more after the day.
Where you going?
All you hear is a bunch of
Where you
rubbish.
going? Where you going? No. Come back this way. Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Where I going?
You will break the knob off that TV, and you will not change that TV.
Be
and you will
on
be
224.
right here with us on 224
I don't
tomorrow.
mind with spiritual advisor, but this bunch of garbage, these people calling and talking, they don't know. The PLP doing all kind of things now to get in there. I don't want to talk because I'm a good age woman.
Okay.
I know what's happening in life.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So let them stop talking foolishness.
All right.
Craig Davis them need to go sit down and go to sleep and go for all that pension and money they get.
Oh, praise the Lord. All right,
Praise
caller.
the Lord is right.
Yeah, because they're well into their 70s, 73, 74, 76.
73, they 80.
You almost 80?
Almost 80.
Well, they should get prepared for Jesus.
Yeah.
boy.
Let them go sit down.
Oh boy.
Thanks
All
so
right,
much,
let's
ma'am.
take another one.
Thank you very
Thank you,
You're
Kola.
welcome.
Get in the number, Spiritual.
323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
S.A.?
Yes, ma'am.
And good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Hi.
So, S.A.,
Yes, ma'am.
for once, man, can't you give the PLP grace? Have you ever put on a red shirt and walked behind Cartwright or Mr. Pinter? Have you ever done that?
What does that mean?
Now, you won't
No,
tell
no,
that
yeah, what does that
I'm
mean?
going with her F&M self.
what does that
It's
mean?
not nothing wrong with being a PLP, you know.
No, of course not.
PLP is grace. Now, if Brave didn't try and do something, you all would say, oh, he ain't do nothing.
Why now?
What did Emmanuel, that's what I'm saying. Why you say, why not now?
Why now?
What did Emmanuel do? What did Adrian do? All you're hearing is about their money, but you don't see no effort from them. I haven't seen anything they have done. You see something?
Who's the MP?
I listened in the parliament today.
Your
I
best bet is to put on a red shirt, go walk behind you like Cartwright.
Who's
and Mr. Pintar.
Who's the MP?
And
Who's the
who do you
MP?
think will be the next leader for the
what you want him-
F&M?
Say like Cartwright.
What you want him? What you want him to do? Go put on the red t-shirt and walk up and down behind Cartwright?
Miss, use the
The
first.
next person will be that same man what you got Pintar pushing out. He will be right. That's why they ain't pull him, because they know he'll be the leader.
Oh boy.
Who, Dr. Menace?
Give my prime minister, please,
Yeah.
give him some grace here. He's doing well for a thing which you all had a whole mess right up.
Yeah. Caller. So I listened to the
no time
parliament
Adrian
today.
case can finish, because I want to see what really happened to
I
that.
listened-
And that lady with you won't tell say going with a F&M sir. She need to go sit down because she ain't know what she said. But in age, everybody in age, but everybody know what's happening. Some people just good caring card members. They know what's happening. They ain't sitting on the sideline talking no foolishness.
Caller.
They listening and watching their tongues. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
And
You too.
Mr. Miller.
Hi.
I have a definition for that A, you know, but I can't say it on the radio.
Whisper
But
it
you
to me
know what
when
it
you
is
see me.
too. The
Whisper it to
bunch
me.
of the A's,
So-
you know, just what it is.
I thought you was a saved woman.
I am a saved woman. You
And
say
you,
it
and you
too
talk
on the
about
Red Bible.
you
and
talk.
you say it too.
See, you,
Oh,
and you
have
say
a nice
you say you
evening.
can't say the A on TV.
You don't experience it, advisor. Caller, Caller, you don't worry. Me and you together.
Jesus wrote that A.
Caller, me and you
have a
together.
nice
Oh,
day, Mr.
my-
Advisor, and give the PLP some grace, please.
Miss, before you hang up, before you hang up,
Represent your F&M shirt.
before you hang up,
Yes,
can I say something to you?
you could.
I was always suspicious of you, you know.
You are?
Yeah, I don't think you're safe.
I am safe. Everybody safe. You safe?
Caller, you don't let spiritual advisor.
I want to know if he said. He know me good too.
Don't worry about that.
He
You
know
and
me
me.
good. Me and him sit quite close by Rodney. He know me good and I
That's
know him.
why I
but
tell you,
He ain't safe.
I was always suspicious of you.
Caller,
Yes,
you,
that's all right, but I still safe. You safe and I safe.
caller, you
And
and me,
Jesus
and we ain't
said
letting
so.
the spiritual advisor boil up our pressure in yet.
Oh,
Save us
Jesus.
So you take off that red shirt and try to put on one white shirt. And you all have a nice evening.
You
Yes,
think
please.
at least you make me laugh. I ain't laughed this much since Rodney.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need to laugh.
I need to laugh. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
So
Yeah, you
listen to
too.
the parliament today, spiritual advisor, when the member for South and Central Lutra get to his foot and say,
Petty?
no, that's Clay. Say, Adrian them had 4.5 years, and in 4.5 years, they only pave a half a mile a road. Well, that's because Adrian tell you all he was busy laying pipe. He ain't had time to pave no road. If you lay all that pipe when you could pave road, he couldn't get to it. Pipe laying was of the utmost importance in that 4.5 years, Clay. That was no revelation. The man tell you what he was doing. Let's take another phone call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Levine.
Hi.
Levine, I got a bone and a half to pick with you, though.
Okay,
For
go
bone
ahead.
and a half.
Give me the half face.
Yeah, definitely. You know the order. The half is paradoxical. I agreed with you yesterday in reference to that $10 million figure for the fire trucks and all of that, and
basically all the infrastructure needed.
Yeah.
And all the equipment needed to go along with it.
Yeah.
Right? Operating apparatus and all, right? Hey, man.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't mention no fire mark these electric car and things, fire and things. Once they start burning, fire truck and put them out.
I know that. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, but another thing, this is the half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of that. Yesterday you also said that after you put them fire out, you go to that chill out thing, not let them do chop though. And usually you go get drunk and then wait for the next fire. But then you be DUI, man. That ain't a good promotion, you know.
No. So
alcohol and fire don't go good.
No, but people have downtime, and in your downtime, you recreate in the recreating room, yes?
Yeah, but that ain't a good promotion for the police, because guess what? If you're in America now, and then they come and do a like you see.
No, His Majesty's men are cut above that. I imagine that the ones that are on downtime will be on downtime, and those who are responding to fires will respond to fires.
Yeah, but others when fires happen anytime. What if they get down?
So that's my exact point, right? So my exact point is you need at least 4 shifts of people. You need 4 shifts of people that consist of a minimum of 25 people each shift. So while the 25 of them waiting on the fire, the 75 of us over by the mess hall having a jolly.
No, sir. What about the fire that happened on the highway?
This is what
you need everything
you
else.
So
you can't have no man drunk and thing like that. No, hey, but anyhow, the second.
Now you say you got 1.5 bone now. That's 2.
Where the 1 bone is now?
No. That's the 2 numbers. That's 1, right?
All right, go ahead.
The second one is just, you know what? You said yesterday, basically like the hotel, you would make that a red light area.
District. Yeah, I think the whole of Freeport City should be a red district. Yes.
Man, but hold on. You know what? The leader, the woman, them even put in the grave yet. He think about the grave now. You talking about he woman them going to go do red light district.
But not he woman them. I say bring in some other woman who ain't saved. No, leave our saved woman.
When the time they got them, you say the wasp body.
Yeah, they body like ants. They got ants body and horse teeth.
Yeah, ants and wasp got the same body.
Yeah, they got ants body and horse teeth.
Yeah. Hey. But you need as a leader, a woman, you need to, don't promote no prostitution violation.
But it don't have to be prostitution. It don't have to be prostitution. It could be.
What red light all about if it ain't prostitution?
No. Red districts are casinos and some gun ranges, for some prostitution. But it don't. But hey, you could. You know the one thing I like about having nothing, caller. You could turn nothing into anything.
Yeah.
The best place to be in life is with nothing, because nobody can tell you what to turn it into. And I think in this country a lot of times we are the victims of men with no imagination. So if you could imagine, right, then you could create anything, and you could make a red district, and you could decide that you don't want prostitutes, you just want half prostitutes. Huh?
The leader, even if put any coffin yet, and you proclaim leader, you already want to put woman them on.
But that's why I don't want to use none of our saved woman. I say bring in unsaved woman.
No, that ain't good. That you can't do that, man. We need a new leader, woman, them man.
Oh boy, no.
You're the wrong thing, man.
No. Okay, thank you for calling. Let's take another one. 323-7775 6980775. Good afternoon,
Hello?
caller. Hi.
Hi, good day.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Miller.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
I feel good.
This is one of the young women.
Oh, hallelujah.
Okay. The first caller, not the second one.
Uh-huh.
When you asked her what part of the conversation was foolishness and she couldn't articulate what it was.
Uh-huh.
These people need to upset that. If you have a problem with somebody said, at least you should know what the problem is.
Yeah, this is
agreed.
True.
And I am fairly young. I am a TLP. However, I've seen the difference between the PLP running and the FM running.
Mm-hmm.
I can see what the PLP done, and I don't think no time soon that FM is going to get in.
Wow.
No.
Let me ask you a question. You from Grandmama?
No, I'm from Kid Island.
Oh, you from Kid Island?
Yeah.
All right. I won't run up there. Whenever they give me a chance to run, I come in and run up there. All right? I like that.
You ain't gonna win it, God's brave. Yeah.
I say when brave. You hear me say anything but brave? I say whenever.
Just letting you know.
No, whenever. Brave 30 years older than me, right?
I know.
Yeah, well, just in the court, say my life expectancy longer than his.
Any government water in Cat Island yet?
You don't worry about government water. They don't need that.
Any government water in Cat Island?
They don't need that.
Government water ain't plenty places. Some government water ain't even.
No. That ain't what I asked you.
They need that. Cat Island has very fresh,
I'm
perfect,
asking you
self-contained water.
if there's any government running water in Cat Island. Yes, sir.
You ever been to Cat Island?
You know exactly the answer.
I don't know. Why don't you give me the answer?
You know.
Who's the MP?
She said she live in Cat Island, Philip Davis.
So has your MP provided Cat Island with waters yet?
They need that.
No?
Who's the MP for Cat Island? Who your MP is?
Who's your MP?
For Cat Island or not?
Who your MP is?
But I'm from Cat Island.
Okay. We thought you was living in Cat Island.
But
Okay.
don't listen to
All
spiritual
right.
advisor. He never been to Cat Island. Listen to me. Who been going there for 20 years?
I get plenty of people complain.
No,
Cat Island.
I'm from Cat Island.
That's what I say. No, that's why I tell you we ain't listening to him. Let me tell you, the water down there is wonderful. It is nice. When I go, I bathe like a duck.
Well, I have well water in Cat Island.
Everybody in Cat Island get well water.
I don't understand what the big hoo-ha is about and not having government water. When I go to Cat Island, the water pressure could knock me off my foot. I spin around like a turtle and bathe. So what? I don't understand.
And yesterday y'all were talking about tea and soup. And the
you
young
cook any
woman
today?
there, spiritual advisor, you are one of my customers. You take my food. The young woman them could cook.
You cook any pea soup today? I can see how saved you is right now. Did you cook, yes or no, pea soup today?
I did.
I tasted your
Praise the
food.
Lord. This is a saved woman.
Hold on. She said
Pea
taste
soup
your
was
food.
on my menu today.
I taste your food?
Yeah?
Where's your restaurant?
No, I'm not going to tell you on air. When you come again, I'm going to show you.
And when he come, you make sure you sneak stand and
Because
cup of
normally
soup for me.
where I go, the food is be good. I don't go to places who can't cook.
Yeah, it's out west.
It's out west.
Out west? It's out west.
It's out west.
Okay. See, I don't come with them places. They too rich for me.
All right.
And also, in reference to the thing and Freeport.
Sorry?
She talking about the hotel.
The trade whatever. Well, we went there for a wedding and the pictures was like, I think they need some good advertising. I don't think they should demolish it.
Okay.
But they need good advertising in order to sell it. It's a beautiful resort.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, caller. We appreciate your call. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Good afternoon, Special Advisor.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Hey.
Mr. Miller, you gotta keep a eye on, like how Mr. Monica do, on the Constitution. Because when these parties get in, they go far straight from the Constitution. They be doing all kind of craziness.
Okay.
You got to keep an eye on that.
That's good advice.
Okay, Spiritual Advisor, guess what? Deuteronomy chapter 5 and St. John chapter 14. Jesus say, how long I can be with you all? Didn't you all know if you see me, you see the Father? That's why we go wrong. When you got Professor Miller, must say this one there. When you look at your church is supposed to look at you. That's all I can say. You all have a blessed day.
All right, take care, caller.
Appreciate you, caller. We got one more? We got time for one more? Let's take it. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Hello.
Mr. Liban Miller.
Present.
What happened to my ticket from last Friday? I answered the question.
You ain't mean the ticket would you leave here and they never come pick up. When I say on air, you got to come pick the ticket up for 6 o'clock.
Nobody tell me nothing. All they did
I say that on air. If you listen to the show, to call in, right?
Yeah.
So what you do when you just take the radio and break it up in the guy?
No more.
Yeah, but when I got to the studio on Monday, they tell me, say, Miller, somebody ain't come here to pick up their ticket. I say, well, buy jingles. But I want to tell you that the steak was succulent. Spiritual Advisor Lion.
Yes, great.
The steak was succulent. It was very tender.
So
the people there at St. Gregory's did a wonderful job, and my friends over at St. Joseph, they also did a wonderful job. It was absolutely delightful.
All right.
Thank you very much to the Twin Towers, Anya Roll and Charlotte Howard, the only two people from SAC I just tolerate, and I wake in on Ralph McKinney application to be the third person from Zach I could still tolerate.
Ralph is my boy, man.
Yeah.
Defense Force boy.
Yeah, thank you, Kola. But we have the ticket. But hey, I think I might have some things to give away from Island Connect this week. I wake in on it, right? You got hair or your hair like the spiritual advisor would?
Ball.
I ball, man.
What with your beard? You got beard?
Yeah, I got beard.
Okay, well, listen to me. If you have beard or hair, well, if you hair like the spiritual advisor, the only thing I could offer you for that is a chamois cloth.
No problem. I go to Spring Point, no problem.
But if you have a beard, like I say, my guys at Island Connect, they tell me they want to give me some things to give away because they just want me to give away things. Everybody just want me to give away things, and Negroes like things. I feel like this works perfectly. So make sure to listen to us for the rest of the week. Let's see if I can find some things to give away, and then please come pick it up from the studio once I leave it. Anyway, that's the jingle, so that's my time, spiritual advisor.
Until tomorrow, if it's the Lord's will, we'll
if
be
it is
back.
the Lord's will, we'll be right back here tomorrow on Freedom March, right here on 103.5 FM, The Beat.